Alright, peace. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Giving double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. Giving double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has awoken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. Alright, brothers and sisters, I want to go into a video that I was looking at today about a state senator arrested at the Georgia state capitol, right? Because he was trying to enter into the state capitol, I guess, to listen to the address that was given by some of the heads that's out there in Georgia, and he was refused entry. And not only was he refused entry, they actually shoved him to the ground, right? So before we start the video, this is fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain or any other sort. I want to play the video and chime in. Now, this is against a state senator. If don't nobody really know why they trying to keep him out of there, is because allegedly he had said some disparaging words against a congressman that had died. I guess he probably was retired, but he was a congressman nonetheless. And the guy that they're trying to keep out, he basically called that guy that had died the most corrupt politician that was in the state of Georgia. So I believe that's one of the reasons why, that is the reason why they kept him out of the Senate. I think it was the state address or something like that. They was having some type of meeting and he wanted to attend. So they had security there to keep him out. But what's so interesting is he kept stating what you would call the Constitution. And basically these individuals, they violated his constitutional rights. And they was going over this. They was going over this on the other video that basically was because the guy, he ended up having to go to the hospital. He went to jail, but he ended up going to the hospital because how they threw him down to the floor. I think he may have like injured his wrist or something like that. So let's continue with the video.
People's Chamber.
Yes, sir. I got you,
Why can't he go in?
Officers, this man should be arrested. I have a constitutional obligation to be in this room under 1611-34.1. This man should be arrested for breaking the law. We all upheld our hand and swore an oath to the Constitution.
No.
This is a joint session of the General Assembly. Your house rules do not apply. I'm going into the chamber. Y'all come on in. What a silly mess. What a high school silly mess.
And brothers and sisters, this shows you that a lot of times when they talk about the Constitution, they don't follow the Constitution, you know. And most people that deals with public law and private law, they tell you that we're living in two separate Americas. And I think that one of them is private and one of them is public, you know. But this shows you that a lot of these people, they don't really care about the Constitution that was established by quote unquote their forefathers. And that if they can, which these individuals, they're exercising their right that has been bestowed upon them by the elites, they will violate your constitutional rights every time. But see, when we looking at this, we have to understand when we talk about how the kingdom is being dismantled. This is how the kingdom can be dismantled by quote unquote on the inside. Let's look at a scripture on that. Let's turn to Matthew, the book of Matthew 12 and 25. Right? Matter of fact, yeah, let's look at Matthew 12 and 25. It says, and Yahshua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or a house divided against itself shall not stand. And why? And let's read 26. And it says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And why we going to this scripture is because, see, America was established off of racism, brothers and sisters. America was established off of racism. And see, the people that they brought over here, they dehumanized them. They exploited them. They destroyed them. See? And now we see that the Creator is doing what? The Creator is destroying the system because America is the final vestige of the Roman Empire. Most people don't even realize that. Let me say that again. America is the final vestige of the Roman Empire. So when we talk about the Roman Empire, we're talking about a kingdom that is still standing even to this day. And we're not talking about the old Roman Empire. We're talking about the children that came up out of her. See? So this is what America represents. Matter of fact, let's see if we can find that in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Matter of fact, Daniel 2. Let's see if we can find it real quick. Right? Because a lot of people don't even understand who America is. See? Matter of fact, let's look at this. Let's turn to the book of Daniel 2 and 31 through, I think, 35. And it says, thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. The great image whose brightness was excellent stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. And this image head was of fine gold. And what does the fine gold represents? It represents the old Babylonian mystery system that was established. In this aspect, it's talking about the Babylonian system that was established by Nebuchadnezzar, right? But where did they get all this stuff from? They got it from Nimrod. See, it says this image was of fine gold, and his breast and his arms of silver, and his belly and his thighs of brass. It says his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. And what does the iron represent, right? The iron represents the Roman Empire. And it says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without arms, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. And what is that? That's the destruction of the Gentile world power system that is going to be, that is basically the creator destroying the Gentile world power system, the final vestige, which is the Roman Empire. See, it says, then was iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floor. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. And see, one of the ways that it's going to be destroyed is by what? Preaching of the gospel, brothers and sisters. So when we're talking about, it says, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. And see, when it's talking about part of iron and part of clay, these are the nations that took on what you would call the Roman spirit. See, because eventually they're going to start fighting against each other. But this is, I want to find something that, see if I can find it. If I can't, I'm going to just leave it, right? 1 second. See if I can find something. But if I can't find it, I'm going to just leave it alone, because I want to talk about how the nations came amongst the people, and they started to do what? Mingle themselves amongst the nations. And they had influenced the world with the doctrine and the teaching of the Babylonian mystery system. See, and this is what we're dealing with today, right? Let's see if I can find it in the 4th chapter. But if not, we just gonna leave it, and then we're gonna go to something else. Let's finish looking at the video real quick. I wish I could have found that scripture.
All right, now, I'll stand right here. Y'all run over there to have this. I'm not trying to get involved.
What's your name, sir? Because you've now involved yourself.
My name is Major Langford. All I said is don't come over me. I'm trying to get these other symbols in, sir.
Are you preventing me from entering the chamber?
Young to watch this.
Trooper agrees. The doorkeepers are stopping, which means you have broken 1611-34.1.
And really, when you look at this, some of them may not even want to do that, but because they're being told to do this, right? Because a lot of them, if they don't do this, a lot of them, they're gonna lose their job, right? But this just shows you that this system is falling. It's falling. It's because now you're seeing the people, they're starting to rise up against one another. It's because even though the Caucasian, he don't really understand why he's been put in power. See, America was established to house the so-called black man. See, that's what America was established for. And now that the so-called black man is being awoken to understand who he is from a nationalistic standpoint of view, that they didn't bring no niggas to America, now we see that the kingdom is being destroyed, right? So let's look at this. Let's turn to the book of Second Ezra. The book of Second Ezra, and I'm going to read 15 and 16, right? Book of Second Ezra, 15 and 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition amongst men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And see, this is what we start to see when Donald Trump is making he's making a statement that basically if Canada don't get up under them, that they're going to invade Canada. See, and this is nothing but when we talk about the sedition amongst men, this is how this look like. See, we're seeing the people that is basically in some type of control being disrespected by the same authority that they swore to uphold and protect. See, 14th verse. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell in it." And what does woe mean? See, woe means destruction. It says the 18th verse. It says, matter of fact, 18th verse. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." See, and that's what we looking at today. See, the country that we living in today, the people here, they are in grave fear, whether you believe it or not. This is why you have a lot of these people that, quote unquote, they study the Constitution, right? They study the Constitution just like we study the Bible. And you have a lot of these people, they have separated themselves from the country per se, and they have become malicious to the country. It's because they are in direct opposition to what the country represents today, right? Let's look at another scripture. Let's turn to the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter. The book of Isaiah, 19th chapter. 19 and 2. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 1. It says, "The burden of Egypt," because we're in modern day Egypt today. We're in modern day Babylon today. It says, "Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it." And what is that talking about? It's really talking about the chaos and the chaos and confusion that is happening to the country, because a lot of people, they talk about idols in the sense of you taking something and crafting it and stuff like that, but sometimes an idol can be the people that you're worshiping. See, this guy that's being pushed around by the police department, or the people that's in some type of law enforcement, the people, they look at him as an idol. And see, these people, they're going to go to war on the behest of these different elected officials that they have elected into office. That's why you hear the woman in the background talking about this is the people house. See? So it says, "I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one another against his brother, and against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And this is what's going on. The Democrats and Republicans are at war with each other, right? We see America at war with the other countries. Now, America was doing business with China and things of this nature. Now they had an economical war with China. They had an economical war with Russia. An economical both from an economic standpoint of view and a physical standpoint of view. They had war with these countries. So let me read this scripture again. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." And it says, "And the spirit of Egypt," verses 3, "shall fail in the midst thereof. And I will destroy the counsel thereof." And what is the counsel? The counsel is the leadership. See? And look at the leadership today. The leadership is really at an all-time low. See, there's no leadership anymore in the country. The people today, they don't even respect the same constitution that was established by their forefathers. So it says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." And who is the charmers? Who is the wizard and things of that? See, it's a lot of times it's your elected officials. See, it's your elected officials. It's because it's the elected officials that is doing what? Casting these different type of spells on the people, making the people think that the Constitution, right, is the supreme law of the land. But here it is, they don't even respect the Constitution. Or that you're supposed to get behind these different candidates and things of this nature. But here it is, the candidates that you're following, these people go around the world and they go around pillaging other countries. So these are the charmers. These are the people with the familiar spirits. And what is the familiar spirits that we're talking about? Every year they exercising the spirit of their forefathers that lived before them. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, see, Abraham Lincoln, all these people. These people were slave owners, and they was what? They was conquerors. So let's look at something. Let's turn to the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter and verses 21. The book of Ezekiel, 38:21. It says, Ezekiel 38:21. It says, "I will cause for a sword against him throughout all my mountains." And mountains means kingdoms. Saith Yahweh Elohim, "Every man's sword shall be against his brother." See? And that's what we looking at today. Well, we looking at this system, because the system is falling. And see, once America falls, she's gonna fall. She's gonna have a hard fall. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna fall right on her face, and she's gonna crumble. Let's continue to look at the video.
Tripper, you don't have to be away. You're breaking the law too.
Is that all the senators now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He does not come past this door. All right, stop, that's it, that's it, that's it.
It has gone too far.
Now, did you see how they pushed that man to the ground like that? Let's look at the scripture. Let's turn to the book of Revelation, right? And see, these folks, these people, they're going to raise war against the country. They already doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, see, the people, they don't see it like this is because there's really no, back in the days, you had what you would call a civil war, where Caucasian was fighting against Caucasian because they was fighting to control the country. And this is the same fight even to this day. So it's gonna come a time where these guys they gonna put down, they're gonna relinquish their powers, and they're gonna start picking up machine guns, and they're gonna start going to war with each other. And we see a glimpse of that even to this day, just like how we looking at the situation that happened in Bourbon Street, where that guy came out and he killed those people because of his disgruntledness towards the country. So he took out his rage and his anger on quote unquote innocent people that was having a parade. I think they was getting ready for the Sugar Bowl, right? But let's look at this. It says Revelation 16, Revelation 17 and 16, right? And it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore," right? "And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." What is that? That's just symbolic of the European common market system. They're going to start going against one another. That's why Britain is talking about leaving the Union. This is why America talking about going against Canada, right? This is why America talking about going against China. This is why Iran talking about going against the state of Israel, because see, all of these people at one point, they was confederate with each other. And why was they confederate? Let's turn to it. Let's look at the 83rd Psalm, right? Let's look at the 83rd Psalm. 1 second. It says the 83rd Psalms, right? Let's check it out. It says the 83rd Psalm, starting at the second verse. It says, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." See, they was all confederate to take the black man, the nation of Israel, into captivity, rob them of the knowledge itself, teach our people that we come from a race of nobodies, right? This is what they was confederate with. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And who is that? That's the nation of Israel. Israel is still in captivity. See, that's not the Jews that's over there in the state of Israel. Those are Romans, y'all. And it says, "And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation." Didn't they do that when they set up what you would call the sub-Saharan slave trade, right? Didn't they do that when they set up the transatlantic slave trade? Didn't they do that when they set up educational systems within they countries that taught our people that we was nothing, that we had to be subservient towards them? See? All of these nations, they are all confederate in this. This is why the Creator is coming against this nation, these people, right? And America sit at the foot of it, right? And it says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Didn't they do that? See, now we not Israel no more. We African Americans, we colored folks, we Arabs, right? Whatever nation that the transatlantic slave trade or the sub-Saharan slave trade have taken us to, and many of these other slave trades, these are the names that we was calling ourselves. See, right? I'm an Arab. I'm an African American. I'm British. I'm Portuguese. I'm French. I'm what's that? I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Mexican. See, but these nations, they all gobbled you up. They have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against them." See, the tabernacle of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. See, these are the nations that came against you. And it's not just them. You got the children of Japhet. You got the children of Ham. See, these nations, they came against us as a nation of people. And they destroyed us. And how did they destroy you? Let's look at this. Because the Creator gave them the power to do this. Let's look at this. Let's turn to Jeremiah. This should be the last scripture, 17:4. It says, "And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I have gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever." See, so these nations don't even understand why they got us, why they doing us like this, right? Let's look at one more scripture, and we're gonna be done. Let's look at the book of Isaiah 45. I believe it's 45. We're gonna get it. The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and 5. Is that it? Yeah. Isaiah 45:4. "For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me." But this is not the scripture that I want. I want another scripture. Let's try 44:5. This is the one. It says, Isaiah 44:5. "One shall say, I am Yah's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob." Isn't this what the so-called Israelites that's doing over there in Jerusalem? And that's what they doing today. They have surnamed themselves. And it says, "And another shall subscribe with his hand unto Yah, and surname himself by the name of Israel." Let's read that over. "One shall say, I am Yahweh's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob." And see, this is why the Christians, the Muslims, and we're going to put the Jews in there too. See, it's, when we talk about the Christians and the Muslims, they say that what? Israel is done away with. See? The Creator ain't dealing with Israel. They dealing with spiritual Israel. See, this is the mentality of the people. And then you got the Jews over there. They done took on your identity. Now they calling themselves you. And you running around here calling yourself what? A colored man. And it says, "And another shall subscribe with his name unto Yah, and surnamed himself by the name of Israel." So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I hope that you got something out of the lesson. Peace. Shalom.